Good morning, good morning. It's day 37 of moving mountains beneath my feet, and I have quite a bit to say today. I started this morning my journal, and I was writing different things that I was experiencing, and I can't remember exactly what I wrote, but it had something to do with how do you know whether you're listening to your mind or your heart? How do you know it's your heart? How do you listen to your heart? Right? We talk about being heart-centered and being in your heart, being in your center. And so I started to think about, for me at least, this brings me to human design. My human design is a manifesting generator. You should look up what your human design is. I wasn't into this kind of thing. I don't know how it works, but it's quite insane how accurate it is for me. Basically a manual for how I operate. It made a really big difference in me because my design is multi-passionate and I like different things. I start different things. And this was like something that I really used to judge myself for, and now I just embrace it. And so it's really helped me. That's the short of it. But anyway, part of mine is to respond, right? Part of my design that I'm supposed to do is I'm supposed to respond. And when I say respond, I mean listen to something and respond with my sacral, right? So if you understand chakras, sacral is down there by your root chakra. And if you don't, it's cool, just look it up. But sacral, for me, the sacral sound. So what is a sacral sound? Sacral sound, children innately understand sacral sounds. So if you ask your kid, hey, do you want some broccoli? They're like, mm-mm. That's a sacral sound. If you tell them, hey, do you want to go to the pool or the beach? They're like, yes, or mm-hmm. That nonverbal sound, that yes or that no, that's sacral. And so when I learn to listen to that and I go with that feeling, that nonverbal decision, that nonverbal sound, if something's a yes or if something's a no, I know immediately if I can tune in and listen. And so, for me, that's one way that I listen to my heart or my center. But I heard something today that was really, really, really profound. And it was about, silence and how, a lot of us are trying to, on this journey, to learn how to meditate or how to quiet our mind. We're saying, hey, be quiet mind. The mind is always chaotic. It's always monkey mind. And really, what is silence? What does silence mean? And so, if you think about it, silence is always there, no matter what, no matter how chaotic or noisy your mind is. Silence is the space in which sounds occur. Silence never leaves. Silence is the space in which your emotions and thoughts arise and they fall. It's like the clouds, right? The clouds are your emotions and feelings. The sky is the silence. The sky is always there. It's unchanging. The sky is the space that the weather occurs. And so silence is the space in which the weather of your emotions and your feelings occur. And so if you can just listen to the silence behind the chaotic, noisy mind, right, you can tap in and get a little bit more clarity as far as, what you're thinking. There's some people who think that the heart doesn't have anything to say. And obviously the heart itself is a pump, right? The heart pumps blood. But when I mean the heart, I mean your center, right? The center, the core of you, your essence, right? Another little exercise that I thought was interesting was if you say the words "I am abundant" in your mind, right? If you just say it, don't say them out loud, you say it in your mind, right? I am abundant in your mind. How can you hear that? How are you hearing that? Because you didn't make a sound, right? But you could hear it. If you could see the words "I am abundant," right? Let's say you write them down and then you close your eyes, you can still see those words. How can you see without your eyes open? How can you hear without any sound being made? There's a witness, there's an awareness inside of you, right? So there's that ability to listen and witness. And so when you can become aware of that, you can listen to the silence behind the noise. And so for me, it becomes much easier to get into that silent space or listen to the silence when my emotions are raging or my thoughts are going crazy when I'm out in nature, right? can't be talking, right? So right now I'm talking, I can't be listening. But sometimes I just walk and I can listen. And I can kind of sense that sacral response for me. Is this a yes? Is this a no? What do I really want? You know, my thoughts may be raging one way, my emotions may be going a different way. But what is the silence when I kind of lean into that silence? What comes up for me? And the other part of knowing whether or not it's raining, phone's getting wet, but okay. Whether or not you're listening to your heart or not, right? The mind is typically driven by a number of things, but a lot of times your mind will be overthinking, it will be in fear, what if, this, I'm unsure, blah, 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 blah. Your mind is more neurotic, your mind is more like logical, more explanatory, it tries to explain and rationalize things. Your heart, when you're listening to your heart, it's more of this calm, knowing feeling. It's more of this secure, calm, quiet, just gentle and knowing feeling. It's very unexplainable, but once you kind of train yourself to like listen for it, you become more aware of it. I'm gonna turn my phone over. I don't know if it's gonna change the sound, because it is raining and I don't want to stop. For me, I lead with my heart on many, many things, on most things. I use my emotions as kind of a guide. My emotions kind of tell me if I'm in line or if I'm out of line with myself, right? So if I feel bad, and I get this from Abraham Hicks, if I feel bad, it means that I'm out of alignment. If I feel good, I'm in alignment. Sometimes we don't allow ourselves to feel those things, or we avoid them, or we avoid the negative feelings, which is okay, but sometimes we do have to face them, right? If it's a big decision or something that's important in our lives, we need to sit with those negative emotions and kind of sense and listen to the space behind those thoughts, listen to the space behind those emotions, right? Because your emotions are derived a lot of times from your thoughts. And so if you're having negative thoughts or really bad thoughts, you're also generating probably negative emotions. And so just having the awareness that silence is the space, and you don't have to quiet your mind. You don't have to be silent as far as like, oh, my mind keeps chattering, I can't get it to stop. You don't have to do that battle in your head, right? That is so big, because I know so many people struggle with in meditation. It's like, well, I can't get quiet, you know. My mind never stops, and then I start battling myself, and I start fighting with myself, and then I just quit, right? But you don't have to do that. You don't have to quiet your mind. You just have to notice the silence in between those crazy, wild, sporadic thoughts or that super emotional outburst. It's like weather, right? But the sky is still there above that weather, but between that weather and all that. And so I just wanted to share this today. I'm at 8 minutes now, 8 minutes 30. And so that was really what I wanted to share. That whole silence thing was really big for me. Also, there was another little exercise that I saw was, you know, this lady, she was like, hey, close your hand and hold your hand closed. Now, tell your mind, like with your mind, tell your hand to open, but don't open it. Just keep saying, open, open, I want to open my hand. But your hand isn't opening, right? And so, which part of you is commanding and holding that hand closed, right? That messed me up a little bit. It's like you can use thoughts to try to command something, but what part of you actually controls? You can probably hear the rain. It sounds beautiful. Which part of you is commanding that hand to open or close? And so that's just, I'm going to leave you with that. I'm at 9 minutes, 30 seconds, and this rain is really coming down. I'm about to ruin my phone. Anyway, have a blessed and beautiful, wonderful day. Thank you for listening.